All right, let's jump right in. We're tackling the metaverse today, and specifically how it's changing the world of commerce. From the research you sent over, it looks like we're talking trillions of dollars, maybe even more, in the next decade. Some experts are saying it could be bigger than some countries' entire economies. I gotta say, it's a little mind-blowing.
It really is, and it's a really exciting time to be looking at the metaverse, especially when it comes to how businesses are using it. It feels like we're moving past just doing the same old online stuff, but in a virtual world and into something completely new.
Yeah, one of the articles even talked about the metaverse having its own whole economy, its own ways of making and trading value. But before we get too far ahead of ourselves, can we maybe take a step back? I think it would be helpful if we sort of, define what metaverse even means, because everyone's using the word, but it still seems kind of, vague.
Good point. Think of it like a permanent online space, one that doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And in this space, it's hard to tell where gaming ends and social stuff begins and where shopping fits in. It's all kind of blended together. And it's not just one website or one piece of tech. It's more like virtual reality and augmented reality and blockchain and AI all smashed together.
So it's not just me putting on a headset and playing a game. It's like a whole digital universe, right? With its own economy and its own social rules and even its own money.
Exactly. And it's all of that tech coming together that lets people make and trade things like digital land or digital art or even clothes for their avatars.
Okay, that makes sense. And speaking of digital stuff, I keep seeing this word NFT everywhere. Why are they such a big deal in the metaverse? I kind of get that they're unique and can prove you own a digital thing, but I'm still not sure how they fit into all of this metaverse business stuff.
NFTs, or non-fungible tokens, are all about proving who owns what and making sure things stay rare, even in the digital world. They let you create something digital that's one of a kind, like a real-life painting or sculpture. And that makes people want it more because it's special, it's exclusive, and it has value in this virtual marketplace.
So even though these items are just digital, they have real-world value because there aren't many of them and because blockchain proves you own them.
Exactly. And that's how we're starting to see this whole new economic system grow inside the metaverse. People are buying, selling, and trading these digital things, and it's creating a market that's unlike anything we've seen before.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy to think about how much some of these virtual things are worth. One article talked about a piece of virtual land in Decentraland that sold for millions. It's like a digital gold rush or something. What's making people want this virtual real estate so badly, and how does it connect to the actual world?
It's a few things, really. Some people see it as an investment, like they think the value will go up as more people join the metaverse. Others like the creative side of it, using the land to build their own shops, art, galleries, even whole communities. And then there's the whole limited supply thing. Just like in the real world, when there's not a lot of something, people want it more, especially when they think it might be worth a lot more later.
So it's not just owning a piece of digital space, it's what you can do with it, whether it's a business or a place for people to hang out, or even just a digital home.
Exactly. And that brings us to what really matters in metaverse commerce, what the user experiences. Brands are starting to realize that just copying what they do in real life in the metaverse isn't going to cut it. They need to make the experience exciting and interesting and make the most of what's special about this virtual world.
I was just getting to that. Several articles were talking about these immersive shopping experiences. I think I get the general idea, but can you give me some real world examples? What would shopping be like in the metaverse if it was really immersive?
Imagine being able to actually walk into a Nike store in the metaverse, not just looking at pictures online. You could use your avatar to design your own shoes, try them on virtually, and see how they look on you before buying them. Or picture going to a virtual fashion show where you can see the clothes from every angle, maybe even buy limited edition pieces that you can only get in the metaverse.
That sounds way more interesting than just clicking through an online store. Is that what they mean by flagship showrooms?
That's part of it. These flagship showrooms are digital spaces that are carefully designed to feel like the really fancy, important stores a brand has in the real world. They're not just showing you stuff to buy. They're creating a whole mood, a feeling that makes you think about the brand in a certain way.
It seems like brands are putting a lot of effort into making their virtual spaces feel unique and special. It's not just about buying and selling, it's about creating a world that people want to spend time in. I'm also seeing this word exclusivity pop up a lot when it comes to metaverse commerce. Can you tell me more about that?
Exclusivity is a big deal. Both in the real world and in the metaverse, it makes people want things more. Brands are using this by offering special limited edition items, VIP access to virtual events, and memberships that give you perks in their virtual spaces.
One article even compared it to those fancy nightclubs with a velvet rope where only certain people can get in. Being part of the in crowd makes you feel special.
Exactly. It's about making things feel rare and desirable, which makes people think they're worth more.
So we've talked about NFTs, virtual real estate, immersive experiences, and this whole idea of exclusivity. It seems like there's a whole new economy being built inside the metaverse, with its own rules and its own way of doing things. But there's one thing I'm still not clear on. What about money? We can't just use our regular credit cards in the metaverse, can we?
That's where Metaverse tokens come in. These are digital things, often built on blockchain, that are like the fuel for this whole metaverse economy.
Okay, so these tokens aren't just like digital versions of our regular money. They have their own purposes and value inside the metaverse.
That's right. You can use them to buy virtual goods and services, get access to special events, and even take part in decisions about how certain metaverse platforms are run. Think of them as the tools that allow people to interact and do business in the metaverse in a way that's safe and transparent.
I'm starting to see how all of these different pieces fit together. But designing these metaverse tokens must be complicated, right? It can't just be about sticking a logo on a digital coin.
You're absolutely right. A lot of thought goes into making sure metaverse tokens work well. They need to make sense to the people who will use them, match the brand's image, and actually be useful in the metaverse they're made for.
So for example, a token for a game might focus on rewards you get in the game, while a token for a virtual fashion brand might give you access to new collections or discounts on digital clothes.
Exactly. It's about creating a token that has value within the metaverse, so people want to hold on to it and use it in that specific digital world.
This is all starting to make a lot more sense now, but I feel like we've just scratched the surface of what Metaverse Commerce is all about.
We've laid some good groundwork, but there's a lot more to uncover, especially when we look at how brands are using the unique parts of the metaverse to make interesting experiences, build communities, and ultimately, sell stuff.
I'm ready to go deeper. Let's move on to how brands are using avatars and virtual events to connect with this whole new generation of consumers. Okay, so we've talked about the foundation of the metaverse, but now I'm really curious about these avatars and some of the stuff you sent me. They were more than just digital versions of us. They're actually changing how people shop and even making sales happen. How's that working?
You've hit on something really important there. Avatars are becoming way more advanced, and AI has a lot to do with it. Think about it. Your avatar is like you, but in the metaverse. So for brands, it's a huge opportunity. Imagine you walk into a virtual store, and instead of you having to search for everything yourself, your avatar, knowing what you like and what you usually buy, takes you right to stuff you might want. Maybe even suggests a whole new outfit or something.
Right, it's like personalized shopping on a whole other level. One article even talked about these AI avatars acting like your own personal stylist. They give you recommendations based on what you've bought before, what's trending. It's almost like having someone shop for you, but it's your digital twin.
And it goes beyond just shopping. Some brands are using avatars for games and challenges in the metaverse. If you do certain things or interact with the brand in a certain way, you get rewards. Maybe you unlock special items for your avatar or get to go to special events. It's a smart way to get people more involved and make them loyal to the brand.
So it's not just about looking cool in the metaverse, it's about your whole experience being tailored to your avatar and how you interact with brands.
Exactly. And that's what makes the metaverse so different from online shopping as we know it. It's not just about buying stuff, it's about connecting with people and brands in a whole new way. And that leads us to something else that's pretty cool. Virtual events.
Yeah, virtual events were a big thing in a lot of these articles. I get how concerts or fashion shows could work virtually, but what about things like, conferences? Would people really want to attend a work conference in the metaverse?
You might be surprised. Virtual conferences can actually be super immersive. And in some ways, they're even better than real-life ones. For one, you don't have to spend money on flights or hotels. You can join from anywhere. Plus, imagine going to a conference where you can teleport between different talks, chat with people from all over the world in 3D, and get virtual swag that you can actually use in the metaverse.
Okay, you sold me. Sign me up for the next virtual conference. I'm starting to see why these immersive experiences are so appealing. Speaking of reaching more people, it seems like those big gaming platforms are a main way people are entering the metaverse, especially younger people.
Absolutely. Platforms like Roblox and Fortnite have huge numbers of users, and a lot of them are already used to hanging out in virtual worlds and interacting with brands there.
A few of the articles mention brands creating whole games based on their products or services. Can you give me an example? It seems like a much more natural way to connect with younger people who might not like traditional advertising.
One great example is what Vans did. They made a virtual skate park in Roblox. People could dress their avatars in Vans clothes, compete in skateboarding challenges, and even go to virtual concerts with real bands. It was a massive hit, millions of people joined, and it got people talking about the brand in a really positive way.
So it was like they combined their brand with entertainment without it feeling like a pushy ad.
Exactly. And that's what makes marketing in the metaverse work. It's about making something that users actually enjoy and want to be a part of. It has to give them something valuable. And a big part of that is making it social, making people feel like they're part of a community.
Okay, let's talk about that social side. How are brands building communities in these virtual spaces?
One way is by creating special online communities just for their brand, but inside the metaverse. Imagine it like a digital fan club where people can connect, talk about how much they love the brand, and even go to exclusive events or help design new products. It's about creating a feeling of belonging, just like in real life. But now anyone from anywhere can join.
That makes sense. So it's not just brands shouting their message at people, it's about giving people a space to connect, share their experiences, and maybe even help shape the brand as it grows.
Exactly. These communities can be really valuable for brands. They give brands insights into what customers want, make people more loyal, and can even be a place where new ideas for products come from. But just having a platform isn't enough. You have to keep people engaged and make them feel like they're all working towards something together.
And I bet that means brands have to change how they do marketing and advertising. You can't just put banner ads everywhere in the metaverse and expect it to work.
You got it. The old ways of advertising don't really work in the metaverse. Brands are having to come up with new, more integrated ideas, like having their own virtual spaces, placing their products within metaverse experiences, and sponsoring virtual events.
Can you give me some specific examples of how that works?
Imagine a virtual mall, but in the metaverse. You walk in, there's a Nike store. You can browse the newest shoes and even attend a virtual meet and greet with a famous athlete that Nike sponsors. Or picture yourself playing a game and your avatar is wearing Adidas shoes or driving a Tesla. It's like product placement, but in the metaverse.
So it's about being more subtle, more about fitting advertising into the metaverse experience instead of interrupting it.
Exactly. It's all about understanding how this new world works and finding ways to advertise that feel natural, engaging, and even beneficial to the user.
It feels like we're at the very beginning of a whole new era of marketing and advertising. We're moving away from those annoying banner ads and pop-ups and towards something that's more integrated and immersive, where advertising is part of the experience itself.
That's a great way to put it. And this shift means really understanding the metaverse, the people who use it, and how this digital world is constantly changing.
It's a lot to absorb, but it's pretty amazing to watch how brands are changing the way they connect with people. So we've covered a lot, from avatars and virtual events to how marketing and advertising are changing in the metaverse. I'm starting to get how it all works, from the tech behind it to how brands are approaching this whole new virtual world. It's clear this metaverse thing isn't just a fad, it's like a whole new way we're interacting online, and it could totally change how we buy and sell things.
And what's really interesting is that it's still changing, it's still developing, and we're just starting to figure out what it all means. The line between the physical world and the digital world is getting blurry, and that creates a lot of cool opportunities, but also some big challenges for businesses.
Yeah, one thing I keep saying in these articles is how important data and analytics are going to be in the metaverse. It seems like if brands want to be successful, they'll really need to understand how people are behaving in this virtual space.
Oh, absolutely. Data is crucial for any marketing strategy, and the metaverse is no different. Brands will need to track all sorts of things, like how engaged users are, how much time they're spending in these virtual spaces, and how often they're actually buying something. It's the only way to know what's working, what's driving sales, and how to make the whole virtual experience better.
So it's not just about building a cool virtual world, it's about constantly checking the data and making changes based on how people are using it.
Exactly. The metaverse is always changing, so brands need to be flexible and ready to adapt if they want to stay ahead of the game.
That makes a lot of sense. So what advice would you give to brands that are just starting to explore the metaverse? Where should they even begin?
I'd say the most important thing is to be willing to experiment and be open to learning new things. Don't be afraid to try stuff, see what works, and really listen to what the community is saying.
It's like we're all explorers in this uncharted territory, figuring it out as we go.
That's a great way to put it. It's a time for innovation, a time to be creative, and the brands that embrace that are going to be the ones that really succeed in the metaverse.
So it's not just about taking what they're already doing and putting it online. It's about thinking outside the box and creating something totally new and exciting.
You got it. It's about really understanding what makes the metaverse special and pushing the limits of what's possible.
I'm definitely hearing a theme here. Be bold, be creative, and be ready to change.
Those great rules to live by in the metaverse. And always remember, this isn't just another way to advertise. It's a whole new way of thinking about how we connect with people, build brands, and even experience the world around us.
That's a great point to end on. It's been amazing learning about the metaverse with you today. I'm still trying to wrap my head around how big and how important it could become, but I'm also really excited to see where it all goes.
It's a journey we're all taking together, and we're still writing the ending. But one thing's for sure, the metaverse is here to stay, and it's going to change the future of business in ways we can only imagine right now.
To everyone listening, thanks for joining us on this deep dive. Keep exploring this amazing new world and all the incredible opportunities it has to offer. Who knows, maybe we'll even bump into each other in the metaverse someday.